this is Daisy with My Future Pathways TV. I'm sitting here with Audrey Tatro, who just recently won the state and district championship in Congressional Debate, and she's a student here at Vail Valley. Audrey, do you want to tell us how you got into speech and debate?
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me. So, my 8th grade year when I was coming into high school, one of my close friends, her older sister, was a captain on the speech and debate team. And she basically told me that it was really fun and I had to get into it. So I went to my first practice and I was like, I don't know if this is for me. And then I found my partner pretty quickly on in a different type of debate I do. And we kind of talked about it and we were like, yeah, this is something that we definitely want to try. We want to invest in this. And the rest is kind of history. I just started debating and prepping for meets after that.
Just loved it from there?
Yeah, basically.
Do you want to tell us how you prep?
Yeah. So for Congress, every week you'll get a new docket with about 6 to 7 student-written legislation pieces. So that can be bills, it can be acts, it can be resolutions. And then essentially the way that Congress works is you go back and forth speaking on either the affirmative or the negative of the bill, so passing it or not passing it. So the week before, we take all the bills, we read them, we figure out what they're about, what the premise is, and then we prep either an aff or neg speech, so in support of passing it or failing it. And then you typically research 2 to 3 points on it for why you should pass or fail, and then we kind of put it into a speech with evidence, and then in room we're able to deliver it.
What has been your favorite so far?
At state, I wrote a bill for banning the breeding of brachycephalic dogs, and that one was really fun. It was just really cool to hear a bunch of different opinions on something that you wouldn't really think of being as like a huge legislative issue in our country, but something that could use reform.
Okay. Being a woman in a competitive debate setting, have you faced any unique challenges or experiences related to gender dynamics?
I would say so. Sometimes it's a little difficult because even though male students don't really try to, when you're in questioning, they'll talk over you or they'll interrupt you, something that I wouldn't ever think to do to another competitor. And I don't really think that they recognize that they're doing it, but it still happens. And then sometimes you just have to stand your ground and be like, I'm talking right now, like, let me continue. Yeah, exactly.
Remind them.
Yeah.
What do you do to stand out in a round?
I do a lot of different things. I try to come up with creative hooks. So like the first part of my speech, it really draws the audience in. One of my favorite was at the state tournament, I sang a Taylor Swift song during my hook. So that definitely, I think, set me out a little bit. Like you don't get a lot of kids who go up there and will sing Taylor Swift sing. Yeah. Another one I did at a tournament previous in the season was I actually took off my blazer and my heels during my speech. It was about a freedom address on the Congress floor. And so I was basically like, if I can earn your respect by the end of the speech without wearing shoes or a blazer, then you'll have to join me in passing.
That's a creative approach.
Yeah.
Yeah,
a lot of people were a little confused when that happened, but it was a funny speech. I liked it. Yeah.
What role do the values of hard work, personal responsibility, and resilience play in a champion's mindset?
I mean, they all make up the win. Like at the end of the day, you've got to put in the most work and you've got to work incredibly hard. And it's not really my coach or my captains who hold me accountable for that. I have to hold myself accountable and do all that prep myself. And they're not checking in on me 24/7 being like, oh, do you have this speech done? Do you have this speech done? You kind of just have to take it upon yourself to want to do that and want to win and want to put in that work. And then kind of the rest falls into place when you have that ambition and that work ethic.
When you guys meet up for speech and debate, what's your favorite part?
Probably just my teammates. I love the whole team. They're all great. And as much as like hard work we put in at practice, we also have a good time. Like we're always sitting there and we're laughing and we're shooting ideas off of each other. And it's just a great environment altogether. Everyone is there to work hard and everyone is there to share their voice. And it's a really great environment.
It's a good place to be. That's good.
Yeah.
What do you seek in the future and how will speech and debate contribute to yours?
I definitely want to go into a field where I can help people and make a difference in the world. And above anything is just the public speaking skills that I've gained. I'm so confident talking in front of crowds and talking to other people. And I think that that's a skill that everyone needs in the professional workspace. They need to be able to talk to their bosses and talk to coworkers. So really whatever field I go into, I feel like my voice and my just ability to communicate is going to be the most helpful.
I agree. That's definitely a good trait to have. I struggle with that personally. Can you share a memorable or challenging moment from your journey of becoming a state and district championship, and how did you overcome any obstacles?
Yeah, for sure. So Congress is especially hard because you're in a room with 18 to 20 other people who all have the exact same research and the exact same points and the exact same bills. So you really have to set yourself apart from them. But the other hard part is they keep like track of who's spoken, and you have to go based off of that to get a speech. So sometimes you'll be really wanting to give a speech, but 3 other people have to speak before you, and then they'll pass the bill by the time it's you want to give that speech. So you won't be able to give every single speech that you want. So you have to be able to adapt and think strategically about what speeches you're going to get, what you're going to score the highest, and which ones you think you can deliver the best. So that's kind of hard, just in round, trying to kind of play that game with yourself and the rest of the room of when are you going to speak, and just making sure that's the best speech you can give.
You said you did like congressional debates. Yeah. Do you do any others, or are there others you're interested in as well?
I also do public forum. I do that with my partner Ben Vito, and that's a 2-on-2 debate. So we debate another team of 2, and for that one you get a resolution, and then you have to prep both sides. When you get to room, you flip a coin, and I really love public forum. As much as I love Congress, public forum is probably my preferred event, just because I really like the partner debate. And me and Ben, we've been to nationals twice in it, so it's a lot of fun.
Wow, nationals?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
My next question is, what other activities do you participate in, and how do you balance your time?
Yeah, it's definitely a stretch. I play rugby in the fall, so that can be a lot difficult sometimes because we go straight from the rugby season into debate. And I had to miss a few competitions for rugby because we were playing and we had tournaments in Denver. I'm also student council vice president, so I have a lot to do with that. So it's definitely hard to balance that and all the debate work that I have to do just because there's always so much going on. And in addition to that, I take a lot of advanced placement classes and dual enrollment, so I always have homework and stuff like that. But it just comes down to like planning when you're going to do what. And the biggest thing to balance my time is probably like checklists and to-do lists. So as soon as I'm done with something, I'll check it off and I'll move on to the next thing. And then I just do the best that I can with the time that I have.
Well, you have a lot on your plate then.
Yeah.
Are you planning on going to college?
Yes.
Do you know where you want to go yet, or are you still?
Yeah, so I want to be a pilot. So my number 1 right now would be a service academy. Those are definitely really hard to get into. So my second choice would be Embry-Riddle in Arizona. It's an engineering school, and it's awesome, but it's really expensive. So I'm working to get a lot of scholarships. Yeah. So this is my state medal from when I won first place at the 3A state championship 2 weekends ago. Yeah, it's pretty cool. In case you can't tell, it's from CHSAA, so they're definitely big sponsors of us. A lot of people don't realize that CHSAA does activities too. Like, they don't just do sports. They do esports, speech and debate, student council. So they're definitely help us out a lot when it comes to state tournament. And then this is my national qualifier plaque. So last weekend I qualified for the national tournament this summer in Des Moines, Iowa, and this is just the plaque that you get when you qualify for nationals. Yeah.
When is the?
It's the 3rd week in June. I believe it's the 16th through the 21st in Des Moines, Iowa. So.
And that's nationals?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so to prepare for events, I'll print out all my speeches. So this is an example of one. Up here I have the hook, and then I've got 1 and 2 bullet points about it. And then in round, when I'm annotating, I use a black and a red pen. So a black pen is what other people say. So I'll be like, Representative so-and-so, you say this, but this evidence contradicts that, or something like that. And then the red is what I plan to say. So like the attacks or the rebuttal to whatever. And then I use pink highlighter to not lose my spot. So at the end of this, I highlight where I'm going to talk next. And then sometimes in round, either other people will say points I already have, or I just decide I don't like that, or it's not really relevant. So I'll just have to cross stuff out like that. And then that's how I annotate my speeches in round. And then for flowing them, I'll set up a flow like this where it's got an affirmative side and a negation side. I'll flow other people's points, what they're saying. And then in my red pen, I'll go back and write questions I have so that during the questioning period, I can ask those. And then it also helps when I'm rebuttaling to theirs so that sometimes I don't even have to write everything they said on my speech. I can just look at my flow and be like, Representative, you say this, and then go into my next point. And that's a huge thing that judges look for in your speeches, because although it's really like it's just speeches and questioning, it's still debate, so you still should be responding to other people's points and rebuttaling to them. And it also just makes the conversation in round more lively because you're actually responding to what other people said instead of just saying all your own information. So I really think that helps me out around a lot, and it helps me to stay organized and helps me give good speeches so I don't have to trip up over my words or think about what the next thing I'm going to say is.
Thank you, Audrey, for your insight on what it's like to be in speech and debate. Wanted to congratulate you again for winning state and district championship, and we also wanted to wish you good luck on nationals in Iowa.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. And remember, champions tune in to My Future Pathways TV.